Hey, this is Angie for Happy Healthy Vegan. So today we went over to Whole Foods here in Long Beach to see Rip Esselstyn of the Engine 2 diet. He is on tour right now going across America trying to psych everyone up to do a 28-day challenge for his plant-based diet. And so I tried to capture a little footage while I was down there. It was a little bit challenging, but you'll see. So I've got a little bit of video for you, and I hope you enjoy it.
What percentage of your call volume, your 911 emergency calls, are medical related? Typically it's always 80 to 90%. And what people don't understand is that as firefighters, we are first and foremost, we're emergency first responders, but we're also, a lot of us we're EMTs, we're paramedics. And so as firefighters, I can tell you that we see up close and personal the devastation that's being caused by the fork, the spoon, and the knife. Whether it's heart disease, whether it is obesity, whether it's going on lifting assistance calls when we're doing a history, a medical history, we hear about the cancers, all the slew and crazy amount of medications that most Americans are on right now. And again, we're going down the wrong path, and it's a tragedy. We now are the sickest and the fattest country on the planet, and somehow or another people are not connecting the dots. It is the food. It's the food. It's the food. It's the food. And if you look at the latest data from the U.S. Economic Council, what you'll find is that 94% of America's calories are coming from meat, dairy products, and processed and refined foods. 94%. These are weak products. These are weak foods that have fault lines the size of the Grand Canyon, and we are stuffing our faces with these products, right? Whether it's cheeseburgers, whether it's pepperoni pizzas, whether it is milkshakes or McDonald's or Arby's or Burger King or filet mignons or sirloin steaks, right? We're just stuffing our faces with this stuff, and we're starving our bodies of all the things that our bodies really are craving and need in order to be healthy, in order to reverse disease and protect us from disease. And so that's why I would argue with just about anybody that meat, dairy products, processed and refined foods, they're faulty, weak, problematic foods. Yes, we can live off them, but they are dirty fuel, and our engines clog up when we eat these foods for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, day after day, week after week, year after year. And then all of a sudden, when we're in our 30s or 40s, we come down with our first case of angina, or our first small heart attack, or our first small stroke, or we find a suspicious lump that leads to our first cancer, or we have metabolic syndrome where we have high cholesterol, we have high blood pressure, we have an ever-expanding waistline, we have insulin resistance, right? So our cells, the 100 trillion cells that we have that make up us, the 100 trillion cells start filling up with too much fat inside of them, and we become insulin resistant. So now the insulin can't do its job, and we become pre-diabetic, which leads to type 2 diabetes. And this is just kind of the way it's going right now. And instead of focusing on red meat, chicken, fish, eggs, bacon, milk, yogurt, ice cream, cheese, we need to be focusing in on honeydew melons and sweet potatoes and steel-cut oatmeal and Swiss chard and broccoli and bok choy and amaranth and teff and barley and quinoa and soups and 3-bean chilies and all these amazing dishes where you are empowered to be healthy, and you're reversing disease, and you're doing everything that you can do within your power to become bulletproof to these chronic Western diseases. And I want you to know that everybody here today has the ability to essentially do everything in your power to become bulletproof to these diseases. How many phytonutrients are in animal products? 0. Yeah. You also have in animal protein, you have this acidic condition that's formed in your body, and it draws calcium from our bones. So if you're female and you're really worried about osteoporosis and osteopenia, not good. What else does it do? It accelerates the growth of everything, including cancer cells. It's harsh on our kidneys and our liver. The best source comes from plants. Plants have an abundant amount of protein in them. So I want to kill this right now. Most Americans are overdosing on protein and the wrong source of protein, animal protein. Most Americans are consuming upwards of 20% of their calories from protein. And it's the one macronutrient between protein, carbohydrates, and fat that we can't store. We cannot store protein. And so what you do with excessive amounts of protein, over about 10%, is you either pee it away or you store it as fat. Okay? We're not a fan of added oils, just like we're not a fan of, for example, a lot of added sweeteners. It's just concentrated calories, empty calories. How many people would agree with me when I say that 1 tablespoon of white sugar is empty calories? All right? Okay, so a lot of you, I guess, think it's a health food. But it's not, right? It has no fiber, it has no water, no phytonutrients, no antioxidants, it has no protein and no fat. It's just 100%, right, sugar. Now, what do you have with 1 tablespoon of any kind of oil? 120 calories. Thank you very much. 120 calories. Doesn't matter if it's olive oil, canola, safflower, sunflower, coconut. 120 calories. So it's got 2.5 times the amount of calories as white sugar, and just like white sugar, it has no vitamins, no minerals, no phytonutrients, no antioxidants, no fiber, no water. It doesn't have any protein or carbohydrates, so it's just fat. And most Americans, they're overweight, we're fat, and we get all the fat that we could possibly need or want from whole food sources. So just like I said earlier, you get all the protein you need from plants, right? It's abundant in everything. It's the exact same thing with fat. Oats, oatmeal, 16% fat. Broccoli, 10% fat. Spinach, 11% fat. And it's all the healthy polyunsaturated. Soybeans, 40% fat. Grapes, 8% fat. Who knew that grapes and fruit had fat? Now on the upper end, right, you have the overt fat, that's in avocados and nuts and nut butters and seeds and stuff like that, approaching 80 and 90%. But if you're gonna have some of these higher fatty foods, don't get it from the oil. Have a small handful of nuts, of walnuts preferably. Have a small handful of olives. Have a small handful or a tablespoon of avocados. But know that these are all very calorie-rich, high-fatty, plant-based foods. And this is where a lot of people kind of go off the rails eating a plant-based diet. They're just substituting plant fats or animal fats and they eat way too much of the nut butters and the avocados and the olives and the dry fruit and stuff like that.
So there you go, gives you a little taste of what Rip is doing all across America in conjunction with Engine 2 and Whole Foods. Ryan and I had a good time. We actually ran into quite a few people we knew. I was really surprised. So we were there like for hours. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, give it a like. Leave your comments down below. Let us know if you got a chance to meet Rip during this tour, or if you're gonna go see him soon. Subscribe for more vegan entertainment and content from Ryan and I here at Happy Healthy Vegan. Ryan and me trying to get that in the head. And until next time, you know what to do. Keep it carb, baby. Keep it carb.
Long Beach rocks.
Long Beach rocks.
Thank you guys.
That's so dark.
Did you guys see the fire station 2's here?
Yes.